Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. Today I will be making garlic bread. Simple ingredients, easy to make, comes out soft and delicious. I will be putting some garlic salt in. Well, you can also put garlic powder if you don't want too much salt. And sprinkle of cheese, and the cheese, of your choice. It can be simple as mozzarella or maybe Mexican blend of 4 cheeses. Not that much. It's going to be very delicate, soft, just wonderful addition to dinner. Welcome to my kitchen and thank you for watching. For the garlic bread, I will need about 4 cups of flour, which is 500 grams, packet of dry yeast, about 400 milliliters of warm water mixed with 1 tablespoon of honey or sugar, cheese of your choice, garlic salt or garlic powder. And of course, the first thing is to dissolve the yeast in warm water with that tablespoon of honey. And then set it aside because it will take a few minutes to get active. I can put the other ingredients together. Some flour. And I have 1.5 teaspoons of salt in my flour. If I use garlic powder only, then I would put 2 teaspoons of salt. If I'm using garlic salt, 1.5 is enough. I don't want to overdo it with the salt. And once your yeast is foamy, then just put it in, mix it up. Okay, once all the ingredients are mixed well, I will just cover it and leave it for an hour. I will come closer to show you the consistency of it, but one thing to mention is when you have your water measured, do it before you put the honey in, because honey will rise up your water level. So with the honey, I had about 425. Without it, I had about 400. Okay, it is soft and gooey. I will sprinkle it with flour before I cover it. And in half an hour, I will do some stretches and folds, adding a little bit of flour, and then second time the same thing. So the consistency will change, and I will show it later. Okay, cover it, and I will see you in half an hour. Okay, it's been over half an hour, and you can see it doubled in size. So time for stretching and folding. Just go around the ball a few times. Okay, and sprinkle some flour. Okay, cover again and another half an hour. Okay, another half an hour. Around the ball a couple times. Okay, upside down. A little bit of flour. Cover it again. And after half an hour, I will shape it and put the garlic and cheese. And finally, it is time to put some seasoning on that dough and make a yummy bread. Or 2. If you want smaller ones, you can make 3 of them and then you can actually freeze it. When I freeze bread, I put the baking sheet around. I'm going to make 2 breads out of it. And now I need to stretch it out. But stretch it so I don't break it. It will take a while, but gently pull on the sides and it will stretch for you. And for some garlic, sprinkle of cheese. And now I want to fold it in. Once I fold it, I will put another layer of that garlic salt and just a little bit of that cheese. And then fold it again. And shape it. Just roll it. Kind of squeeze the edges, the ends under. Gently squeeze to the board. Okay, and I have one loaf ready. And time for the second one. So some garlic, sprinkle of cheese, fold it in, and a little bit more. Fold it in and shape the loaf. Okay, gently squeeze to the board. Okay, and then try to tuck in the ends underneath. Tiny bit of flour on it, and then it can go on the baking sheet as well. And I will come closer with the camera. Okay, for those of you who do not have bread dishes, you can just leave it the way it is. You don't have to use it. And for those of you who maybe have like a meatloaf dish, the same as bread dish, you can put it in and then the shape will be more even. And just to show you what happens if you don't have a dish, I will leave one out the way it is and the other one I will put in. And the other one I will just cover up. Okay, and I will see you in about 30-40 minutes. Okay, time to put those breads or bacon. Doubled in size. So here, as you see, it will be a little bit wider because it was in a dish and the other one wider. But still, if you don't have a dish, it's fine to bake it that way. So oven is preheated to 375 and I will put those in for about 40 minutes. I will set it for 35 just to check on them. Better safe than sorry. You never know if the top is gonna get a little bit too brownish. And if I see it starting to get brown fast, I can put the baking sheet on top and that will prevent from going brown too fast. And here it is, 5 minutes left and you can see the top getting nice and brown, crusty. So another 5 minutes. Okay, time to take those out. And as you can see, I did put the baking sheet on top halfway through. And this is safe. Let me just take this out. And put it next to each other so you can compare, you can see. And I want to get you a closer look. So the one in a dish is higher and more narrow. And the one that didn't go into dish is a little lower, but wider. So that's the difference. So even if you do not have a dish for the bread, it still works. It's only the shape that's gonna be slightly different. Now the question is, do you want a soft crust or crunchy crust? If you want soft crust, then cover it and leave it for at least 10 minutes. It is about trapping the moisture that's in that bread. If you don't want soft crust and you want the crunchy, more on the harder side, leave it the way it is, don't cover it, and then you will have this crunch. Some people like it soft, some don't. My children, for example, they only like soft crust. So for them, I cover every single bread I make. But that's about it. Thank you for watching. And here I have those two waiting for it. I'm not sure if you're gonna like it though, it's garlic bread. Exactly. I would like to let you know why I am a big fan of using scale instead of the cups. I do put measurements in cups, so it's easier. As you know, I'm from Europe, so everything for me is in grams. And here in United States, any recipes you have is usually in cups. But I want you to pay attention to one thing, so take it as a tip. I learned by mistakes because I've done it before. So I have put together a flour, the same flour, all-purpose flour, into the same measuring cups. Exactly 2 cups in here and exactly 2 cups in here. But I want to measure it using the scale and show you if there is a difference and how much of a difference it can be. So here is the first 2 cups of flour, as you can see, 2 cups. And here is exactly 2 cups. All around, no cheating. And I will turn on, and there's nothing here. My scale, so it's set to 0. Maybe I should show you. So it's set to 0. If you can see. Okay, and I will put the first 2 cups in. And it says it is 248 grams. So now I will take this into a different cup, and it's empty. Put it back. It comes back to 0. And now the other 2 cups. All of it. And this one is 314. So now you can see that 2 cups are not created equal, right? They do not measure on a scale the same. So why is that? Well, it's all about handling the flour. If we are gentle with it, the flour is fluffy, it's light, and then 2 cups, nice fluffy flour. If you handle the flour, shake it, kind of bang it, on the surface somewhere, it loses its volume because it becomes dense. So you keep adding to have exactly 2 cups, right? Well, but it's much more heavier. It's much more flour that you need. So if you ever had a cake and you tried to follow the measurements and directions and the cake wasn't quite the way you hoped, it wasn't as fluffy, it wasn't as delicate, it wasn't as soft, well, maybe because there was too much flour. So it's just a tip, and I hope you will find it helpful to kind of pay attention to how we handle flours. I know how it is when you bake something and you put your heart into it, time into it, and then it doesn't come out the way you hope for. And it's frustrating. So I hope this helps. Thank you for watching.